Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tech News. So, today we have a very special guest. So, welcome, Percy. Percy is actually, like he says in his LinkedIn profile, a Laravel resort. But not only that, because we're also going to talk about a lot of things today, like HTMX, Laravel Moris, and some tips on how to become a better developer and, of course, a better PHP developer. So, without any further delay, Percy, it's all yours.
Thanks, Abdallah. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me, and it's an honor and a pleasure. So I think I'll maybe start by introducing myself. Just a few words. You've put it so elegantly, Laravel Wizard. So um, yes, so I'm like you said, a PHP developer. I've been working with PHP since almost 10 years. And I started my Laravel journey, I think in the early days of the framework, it was around version 5. And I definitely fell in love with the developer-friendly syntax and how easy it was to just get into the framework and start learning. And the documentation was fantastic as well. And over the years, I've built a lot of scalable and large scale application with Laravel as it is. So I'm really excited to talk about it today.
Yes, thanks. Thanks for coming on the show, actually, because you know how it is hectic nowadays with work, and I know that you travel abroad recently. Maybe you could touch a bit on that, your experience with the Laravel community abroad, then we talk about Mauritius.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Laravel has a very a large scale adoption almost everywhere that you will go. Europe, the US, India is very big on Laravel these days, and so I've managed to attend a Laracon India last year, and that was an interesting experience because you will go to this conference with like 800 people, and it's so huge, and it's really amazing the community and how they are. So it's it's been great seeing that uh, in person, and it's I think it's something that I am trying. I mean, we are trying to kind of bring this energy to Mauritius and try to maybe not do the same thing, but do something different, but not on that large of a scale, but still trying to give an impact on the community in Mauritius and try to make people see and adopt Laravel as well. And yeah, globally, I think Laravel is very much adopted, but we saw that in Mauritius, there is, I think, still a gap, and we're still trying to bridge that gap. So I've had the honor to attend some local meetups in Bangalore with the Laravel Bangalore community. I had the chance to speak as well as a speaker in the Laravel Bangalore, and it was a really great experience. And this is the model that I'm trying to bring to Mauritius as well in the Laravel ecosystem.
Nice, very nice. So before we actually continue with the Laravel Moris team, I'll to share a bit my experience on PHP myself, and then we'll talk about HTML in a moment. So for me, I studied at the University of Mauritius, and there web development, PHP was a big thing. Everything backend was PHP, so I quite like it. I did my final year project on CodeIgniter. We were talking about just earlier. I think it's a very good framework. It gives you all the snippets, the essential features that you might need, for example, authentication, OAuth, and things like that. Very interesting. And then, but it's not really generative. Like, if, for example, at the time I didn't really do that. But let's say later I did some Ruby on Rails as well, and Laravel as well, like Laravel Moris for learning. So then you can generate stuff with scaffolding. So I found this very interesting. I've professionally worked on PHP a little bit. But what I like most with this language is that it's very forgiving. So even if you don't get the types right, you're learning backend programming, web development, it's very good to get into it. And especially even before I think the 7 version, Facebook hack version, people were always complaining about how slow it was, but I think since the 7 version, it's very fast. But that maybe later we talk about that, like some tips on PHP, some history as well, your experience on PHP. And but before that, let's talk a bit of topic keyword that has been trending a lot on Twitter for me, like past year. And unfortunately, in Mauritius, I didn't see anyone talking about that, and that is HTMX.
Yeah. So I'm also not that proficient in HTMX, to be honest. I've dabbled in it. I've started using it, but I think the great thing about it is it's it's very much catering for us backend developers. So as a backend dev, we probably not that much into, I mean, you've seen the complexities that front-end frameworks have become today. You have a lot of JavaScript framework coming on the scene. I think almost every day there's a new JavaScript framework that is being released, and these are getting a lot of more complexities on top of your stack. So I think HTMX we try to just go back to the simple times, when you had your PHP and then your HTML and just not overcomplicate and over engineer things. And so I'll give you an example in some Laravel projects that you have a front-end framework, for example, Vue.js. So now you have to manage the node dependencies. You have to have a build step, and you have a lot of things to set up uh, before getting your app up and running. But with HTMX, if you think about it, you just need to install Laravel and just include the script um, in your head tag, and then you're ready to go. You can just start building things, and it doesn't compromise with how the UI um, is being used. Like, for example, the how we are used to SPA type of loading for users, where you don't have that page reload and your content just dynamically updates. So you still get that experience, but you don't necessarily have to go with like super complicated setup and build step. You can still have the best of both worlds, kind of still stay in your backend stack and still have that nice UI friendly and flow that people are used to nowadays with SPA type applications. And I think that's what is very attractive to me, because nowadays building an app is you have to be very fast. You can't just lose time. We're in like the prototype era, you just have to get your product to market very fast. And with HTMX, I think if you have a simple idea and you want to test it and deploy it really fast, it can help you achieve that goal. So that has been my experience so far with it.
Yes. Maybe just to add something for listeners or viewers who might not be aware what is HTMX. It is basically the type of, I won't say front-end framework because it is way more simple. Like you just mentioned, it's just a simple technology that replaces Java. Correct me if I'm wrong, and JavaScript. So you can, in your HTML itself, write you want to make an API call, you just write the API that you want to call. And if you want to replace a div by another div, you can do that. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
So I think it's also um, so the difference, for example, if you take a framework like Vue or React, is you have to manage some kind of state to update your DOM, your markup, right? So you have to have that management. HTMX proposes that you don't do that. You just render HTML because the web is HTML. Basically, a page is just HTML. So the protocol is it's basically HTML over the wire. So you are returning plain HTML. You're not returning JSON from your server. Then that you have to use that JSON to manage some state, and then that state will update your page. Like a lot of layers in between, but just return HTML, and HTMX would just use that HTML to just replace um, whatever part that you have specified in your page. So you don't manage state, you just manage, just return HTML as you would.
Thanks.
So
Yeah.
that's very easy to do. And I think, if I'm not wrong, GitHub has been using that for a very long time, but we haven't noticed. So I've seen that I've seen on GitHub pages, inspected the network page, and I've seen that they're returning like HTML from their network requests, then that they just replace. And so I think this protocol has been there for, I think, quite a while, but people have just mostly flocked with front-end framework and not used it so much. But it's something maybe coming back, and yeah, why not? It's if it makes your life easier, simpler, I would definitely use it.
Yeah, yeah, true. I know that you mentioned GitHub. I know that GitHub has been one of the ardent user of the Ruby on Rails framework, and HTMX, like the protocol, has been default in Rails for a long time ago. And this is one of the criticism that we have the community. So I actually did a few projects myself, some side projects, some basically freelance projects on Rails. So Laravel, Rails are very, very similar actually. Just I think the language is different, the many design patterns are similar. And in the Rails community, they really like Laravel and vice versa. And this protocol is very interesting because it simplifies the web so much. And especially for me, as long as you avoid tools like Webpack, you're good. You're good to go with this. So, like, it's complex, very, very complex. I tried once to add a module in Webpack. I couldn't after, I think, one day of struggle, and I thought, wow, this should be only one line, but I can get it right. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I think it's also like I said, it's not that you have to use Webpack and Vue in all your projects. You know, imagine you have a simple thing you want to build. You want to build a prototype. You want to just make it happen, deploy it, have people look at it, and then get the feedback. Um, it's you're not going to have to build, um, maintain packages, JSON file, node modules, build step, writing a long webpack config that I still don't know how to how to write that. Uh, so you could just keep it simple, not for all projects, of course. Some projects demand like a heavy UI, a heavy front end uh, interface, and then you have to reach for those front end frameworks that are good for this. But, if you have a simple thing to do, or simple project, you can still reach for it. So it's like you should have all these tools in your tool belt, but reach for the right tool for the right thing. You know, it's like you wouldn't use a bazooka to kill a fly, for example. You know, so it's just about the spirit of HTMX, and yeah, I think it's pretty fascinating, and I'll definitely use it more in more projects. I've used it in some simple things that I've built, and it's really great, to be honest.
Awesome. What I find very interesting with people like you is that you're not closed-minded. You're ready to try something that is quite different from what we are usually working with, and then you share this knowledge for others to try it. And this is how like we build stuff and we inspire others as well. And something that reminds me of what you just said, there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs, things from certain to mass over and economists. But even at work, there are two quotes we usually use. One I already mentioned earlier is Murphy's Laws.
Yeah.
Like, whatever can go wrong will go wrong at the worst possible time. And this happened just earlier. And secondly, this one, there are no solutions, only trade-offs. So what I was thinking is, I'm going to share my screen just for show the page Laravel Moris. Unless you want to show it yourself, you tell me.
I think you can go ahead and share it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry,
that's
1 second. Yes. So meanwhile, while it's loading, maybe you can just quickly tell your your opinion on Tailwind. What do you think?
Tailwind is great. I like Tailwind. Um, yeah, you're showing this page. Just for a side note, we are currently rebuilding this website. We've tried something um, just to get it done and get the site loading live. I mean, sorry. And we're just currently refactoring a bit to make it more appealing. We're, like I said, backend devs. We're not that great in front end and design and stuff. Um, yeah, coming back to your point, Tailwind, I like Tailwind. I think it's really great again for someone like me who's not a CSS guy. I don't know how to make two divs next to each other. Uh, just but with Tailwind, I just use Flex, and that happens. I don't know how to make a shadow on on a button. Just use a class. And yeah, I think it gives a lot of flexibility. I've seen people really not liking maybe the way you have to you use like 1,000 classes to make like just a simple button or a simple div. I think that maybe that's the criticism that I've heard the most. But we've gotten used to it now. Before it was, and I think these things always change. Before it used to be like, oh, you have to specify one class for one thing, and then it changed to be like now it's multiple classes, and I think this always changes over time. I don't think that what you're using today will be relevant in like 20 years or 15 years. So yeah, we try to adapt and and go with what is currently maybe the best way to build this solution at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the
And
reasons I'm
what about
asking
your
you.
opinion on Tailwind? Are you
Yeah.
not a fan?
You-
I've sensed that.
uh, I'm live right now, and this is going to be on public record, so I can't really tell you the truth. Jokes.
Okay.
Jokes aside, yeah, sometimes like comedy, like injecting fun, like reminds me of, DI dependency injection. So I often talk to colleagues and friends. I say, You have dependencies, you inject. I have fun. I have comedy. I try to inject. I have a fun vibe. So yeah, my opinion is actually I heard Tailwind from the Laravel community on Twitter way back. Again, it wasn't a thing here in Mauritius very long time ago when it was still just released. And my first impression was it's quite nice, and I didn't actually like it at first. I mean, why learn something else? We already have CSS. In my mind, it was so you have CSS, you can cascade it. You have other libraries or frameworks like SAS and things like that. And I thought, why another one? Then I was one day trying build a side project, and I think I used it with React first time, but it didn't really appeal with me because I was also learning React at the same time. So this is a pro tip actually. If you are learning two technologies at the same time or even more, you're going to struggle. Better is to learn one at a time and then you put it together. So then despite that, I eventually learn a little bit of Tailwind, and then I use it for a side project in Ruby on Rails. But at the time, I found it very interesting. It was very, very fast. My initial disappointment was that you needed to write the components by yourself, but then I realized that no, there were other frameworks, and not really frameworks, but libraries that provided you with the components all in Tailwind. I'm talking like 2021, 20 something COVID time. And then once I discovered that, I found it very, very interesting. Like I started liking it, but the breakout happened like I think last year or a couple of years ago. I actually worked with it on production and it was amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's slow, but you have, so we use Visual Studio Code and you have extension that hit them. And not only that, but it was as if you have the tooling around Tailwind, which I found is fantastic. One example I give you is, let's say you write a class, BG doc or something, and you write some bunch of other classes and you forget to put BG doc again. So the code extension will tell you, will highlight both of them, tell you, hey, you've already written this, my friend. So I found the tooling really like good. And nowadays, I highly recommend, especially given the fact that we are backend developers, or at least from a backend background. So definitely recommended.
Yeah, and I think this week Tailwind version 4 was released, which is I think even makes it even simpler. I think you don't even have the Tailwind config anymore. You just write the CSS in the CSS file, everything there. That's already configured. I just had a project that we recently upgraded. So we started with Tailwind 3 and the upgrade was just super easy. Yeah. I mean, check it out. Tailwind 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Really interesting.
So yeah, very good tip for our listeners as well and viewers. Each time I say listeners, but viewers as well. Is yeah, Tailwind is good. If you've not tried it yet, do try it. Highly recommended, especially if you really don't like front-end things like that. Tailwind make it very interesting. So now let's go on and talk with actually the real subject, Laravel Moris. So the first thing I would ask you is, what is the story behind Laravel Moris?
Yeah. So the story behind it is, like we mentioned earlier. So I've been to a lot of these Laravel conference abroad, and I've seen that they're fantastic community that they have. I mean, in almost every country, we have a fantastic Laravel community, and I think that's one of the great thing about Laravel is the community side, because when you're a Laravel developer, you're never truly alone. You know, you have the community. It's really amazing that they're welcoming. Nobody's like, you know, having dogfights with each other, or like, your ideas always welcome. And it's just that aspect that was really appealing for me when I started Laravel. And so the story behind why we wanted to have a community as well in Mauritius is we've noticed that there is this gap, I think, in Mauritius. Not a lot of developers locally want to try Laravel, or they think like Laravel is just, for side projects, and, for my university project, I'll just use Laravel. And when I get into the industry, I'll use something else. Um, so we've noticed that maybe that mindset and the lack of talent as well in Mauritius on Laravel. A lot of companies, maybe they do Laravel in Mauritius, but they outsource it to other countries, but they're still in Mauritius. So our main goal is we wanted a platform, a community where people can get into Laravel, or other Laravel devs can join, because we have also good senior developers, Laravel, but scattered around the island, not really in one community. And that's what we wanted to change. And it started with like just a simple conversation with one of my friend and colleague, Ravish, and also a good Laravel developer. And we said, yeah, why not do that same thing here, and start like a movement. So this is the story so far, and this is how it's going. Um, and last year, I think the idea was born way back in 2023, I think, but 24 was when we really started putting the blocks in place. We started, let's say we build a website. We created our social media pages. We started saying like, okay, let's do a live stream and see how that goes and how the response is. And we saw that it's kind of was okay. Was people were interested, at least what we saw. And so this year the plan is, okay, let's get this going more, and let's try doing the in-person meetups and see the response. So I think even that if we don't have, a lot of members at this time, if we still plan monthly meetup, and even if it's like just 4 people, 3 people, but just keep that consistency, and then that's how the community will grow. And yeah, it's we have some great plans for this year, for Laravel Moris, and I hope it will continue to grow as it is.
Yes, sure. One thing I wanted to ask is how to join the community.
So you can first, if you want to join or support us, just follow us on social medias. We have a LinkedIn page, we have Facebook page, Facebook group. We have a GitHub page. What else? We have Twitter, we have Blue Sky. So follow us on all those medias. And I think the best thing as well is just attend our meetups. Attend our meetups and get to know us. We also have a Discord server, where we just chat and help out each other. Sometimes it's just good fun as well, just working, and you saw a meme and you just send it on the Laravel always Discord, just chat about it. I think it's pretty cool. So those are the places where you can join us, follow us, and yeah, just stay informed of what's going on.
Nice, very nice. I like the part you say me, because sometimes when I'm in a meeting or I don't have any urgent deadline, I will try to look for memes and then change it to make it relevant to either programming or project manager. I don't know if you watch on my profile quite recently on LinkedIn. I have this Manchester City game where a player Bernardo Silva. Actually, the story behind is I was sitting down watching some TikTok videos. I don't know what I was supposed to be doing. And then I saw this video and I thought, wow, man, Bernardo Silva is one of the best players ever to play in the Premier League, yet he does something like that. But how can we apply that to our profession, like developer, project management, things like that? Actually, I didn't have any idea. I said, doesn't matter. Let's upload it on the way I'm going to think of something. And I did it. I said, this is what happens when project managers, oh, it could be customers, clients as well, talk with us developers. And it did really well. It actually blew up, like not so much because LinkedIn is like what I've found there. I've um, been studying the algorithm and reading books as well that talk about a lot of YouTube algorithm, LinkedIn, and Twitter, etc. X. What I find is memes don't really work well with LinkedIn because it's more professional. But if I put the same thing on like Facebook, it's going to explode.
Yeah,
And groups as well.
it's definitely. So yeah, I think that was why we wanted to have like a place to chat with, like Discord. I think a lot of people are on Discord. It's like we wanted a place where we can chat. Slack was like, yeah, okay, it's more like professional type of stuff. LinkedIn as well. So like, yeah, Discord, you can have channels, send memes to each other. We can help each other as well. Um, we've recently set up a channel for helping people get to our meetups. So the story behind is so we the next meetup that we have in February is in Black River, which is kind of far for a lot of people. So we've heard that some people were like, "Oh, we're interested to join the meetup, but it's still very far for me. I don't have a way to get there. It's a long way." So it's like we said, "Okay, let's just people have cars that are going, so let's get a channel on the Discord server, and people can offer rides to other participants that want to join the meetup, and they can offer rides. They can look for rides in that Discord channel." And yeah, that's one of the things that also we've seen that help help the community as well. And yeah, it's been going great so far.
Nice. But perhaps a question, who can join the community events or the group itself?
Anybody? I think once you are, we don't like uh, won't discriminate anything. You are whatever your background is. You just started. You're a student. You are a professional. You've never heard about Laravel before. You are a Laravel developer. Anybody who is interested and wants to learn more about Laravel, they can join our meetups. We try to keep the meetups kind of like all for all levels. Kind of try to make a beginner level talk or intermediate and more advanced talk, so that everybody can attend and at least get something out of it. And it's also a great place for networking. If you want to meet other people, because like I said, the main goal as well is to get all the Laravel devs and people and aspiring devs together in one community and not scattered across the island. Just have one place where people meet up monthly. Uh, my goal is to make it monthly so that it's consistent. And I think we've seen that with most other groups as well that are doing meetup stuff. The front end MU, MSCC, they have their monthly meetup. Um, so and that's something that we also aspire to do. And yeah, so as long as you're interested and have an open mind as well, uh, you're most welcome to join and be part of the community, because yeah, Laravel is not just for PHP developers; it's for everybody. And I've seen, I will tell you that there are people on our Discord server that are like sysadmin and not Laravel devs, but they're still there, and we still chat. We they're still attending meetups. So everybody's welcome to Laravel Moris.
Yeah, that's right. I hope we get more and more people enthusiastic as well. 3 points quickly that I just think thoughts of. First is I remember like over the course of last year, I was basically putting together a kind of stats document to see which technologies dominated the merchant market, and it was very surprising to me that first you have, of course, makes sense. As a developer, .NET will be the first because this a Microsoft product or community technology, and it has a lot of support as well. But second was PHP. Despite not so much Laravel, I didn't really see much Laravel, but Symfony was a lot, and you had also some other frameworks people put together. You had some good Igniter as well. You had also Laravel with very little WordPress. Drupal, don't need to mention that. So the bulk of the second one, and the bulk was PHP, was the WordPress and Drupal and some Symfony, but we hope to see more Laravel as well, as a matter of
Yeah,
fact.
yeah,
And then, but the most surprising thing is which comes to my second point. So, out of curiosity, I had conversations with the recruiters, and PHP, especially Laravel, despite very rare, and Symfony were the highest paid salary on the merchant market. So, your friends, if you're listening to that, it's not that pays the best. It's not Ruby on Rails. It's almost non-existent. It's not Vue.js. Sorry, modern guys. I don't even know other technologies, but from the data compiled, I need to look back and maybe one day share it. Like PHP is the king here, Mauritius, and Laravel, very real Laravel and Symfony are the most paid very, very well. I mean, can't even compare. The only technologies that come close, but it's super hard. Like Laravel, you can learn it in 1 month maximum. You give 1 hour a day, it's more than enough. But the only technologies that pay at least that much or more is cloud native technologies. But this is very hard. I mean, this is a amalgamation of so many other technologies. You need to understand like the principles of cloud principles, Kubernetes, and so on and so forth. So an easier way is just learn Laravel. Yeah, I'm doing
yeah.
some promotion for you. And my third point is, I think the most important one, maybe most important, but one. Let's say tomorrow, I want to do something. I want to build a web application for tech news. Like we want to have people subscribing, and the way to do it is there are so many technologies, of course, but I know Laravel is just you can use scaffolding very quickly, put something up, use some CSS frameworks, Tailwind with some components we talked earlier on, and boom, and can get something written out, production ready very, very quickly. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think that's the main selling point of Laravel, and also why people are not really ready to adopt it. People might be scared, you know, because in their mind, what I've seen is people would be like, "How can this be so easy?" and and have something production ready. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be difficult, and maybe that creates that kind of mindset of like, oh, Laravel is not good for large scale application or things like that because it's too easy, it's too simple to do things, it's too simple to build something. And no, it's easy does not mean it's not uh, well thought out or well tested. Or as a matter of fact, because it's easy, that means it has been refined so much that these things are super easy to just put together and build. And the great thing as well with Laravel is like the ecosystem around it. So you have a lot of things that are out of the box with the framework. Things like real-time notification, real-time WebSockets and stuff like that. That would be like if you had to do it from scratch, it would take you forever. But with Laravel, it's easy to just implement that. You mentioned scaffolding, authentication, authorization, queuing system, a lot of things there that just comes with the framework. You just install, you can use it. And apart from that, you have a lot of community packages, third-party packages that are well tested, well supported, that you can do almost everything. And like you mentioned, super simple to set up and deploy. And so on deployment as well, you don't have to be a sysadmin or a super smart DevOps. You have uh, Laravel Forge, you have Vapor, you have now Laravel Cloud is going to be released soon, where these platforms allow you to deploy your Laravel apps in just like one click. So, and what Taylor was saying the other day, she mentioned that PHP was used to be super simple to deploy to a server back in the day, but then things happened, and then now it's super difficult to deploy. Um, JavaScript is easier now with like things like Vercel and all these other platforms. So I think Laravel now wants to kind of bring back as well that ease of deployment. So we already have ease of building things, ease of um, creating some stuff, and now the ease of deployment. The two of them together, it's just would be super like you would be able to build an app in maybe a week. I mean, if it, this a simple app, a prototype in a week. I think that's one of the main things that the Laravel team is actually pushing for in the coming years. So yeah, I encourage everybody to give it a try. Keep an open mind. Don't just think of it like, oh, it's just for side. Just give it a try, and I think you would come to appreciate and maybe even love Laravel.
Yeah, let me try to sell Laravel in 20 seconds or less, like the official, not official, but an unofficial Laravel pitch. So just imagine, once I had to write a template to send the feature to send email and their templates in Node.js took me weeks, and there were so many bugs. Turns out, if you use Laravel, you can do the same thing with one line of code and one country. That's all. 2 minutes, you can send emails. You choose your template, and you're done. So, listeners and viewers, don't hesitate. Laravel is the tool. You want to try side projects, you want to learn it. It's paid a lot, like you mentioned earlier. Try it. And maybe one final thing so you Percy. What's next for Laravel Moris?
So yeah, the current status, like I mentioned, is we're trying to grow, trying to get people to adopt Laravel, trying to um, get people more interested with Laravel. Then the next step is to, I think, um, we're trying to partner with some with the Laravel with some training institute as well. We have a partnership with the Laravel Certification for Laravel program. So this partnership will allow us during our meetup. So you come to attend, we will be giving like discounts on certification program. We'll be giving free exam vouchers, free practice exams. So you can, if you're interested, you can come and during those meetups, we'll have like small quizzes, hackathon, and and give away those prizes. And so the next step, I think, is to really partner with some of those developer institute or universities in Mauritius to offer students the chance to maybe discover Laravel and maybe get interested early on. So the idea is to get more potential developers, more developers that are in training to get into Laravel and in the end have a large pool of Laravel developers in Mauritius. Because at the moment it's like you said, it's rare, it's very rare. And if you go to Laradia, which is the directory of Laravel developers, you search for Laravel developers in Mauritius, you have only two results, which is me and some other guy. So um, yeah, the next step is grow the community and reach more students, more not even students, not just even developers, or just people who want to get into Laravel. You know. So that's I think my main vision for Laravel Moris, and why not even have a Laracon in Mauritius? Why not? You know, I've, it's a dream. It's one dream that I have. It's maybe far fetched. It cannot be done. But I think it should be possible. It should be possible. It might be hard to achieve, but it should be possible because there's a Laracon in all different continents. There's a Laracon in the Americas. There's a Laracon in Europe. There's a Laracon in Australia. There's a Laracon in Asia. But Africa, there needs to be a Laracon in Africa. The African continent have a lot of good developers as well. A lot of good Laravel developers in Africa. So this is the ultimate goal, I think, of Laravel Moris is be able to bring the Laracon in Mauritius. Yeah, that's my ultimate dream.
Yeah, Laracon Mauritius will be the ultimate boss.
Yeah. It's yeah. I dream about it every night. So
Hey, I like your ambition that this ambition. I like it very much, and maybe let's work together later. Let's you
yeah,
can count on
I
tech
think if
news.
this has to happen, we we need to like I mentioned, the first thing is consistency. We need consistency. We need more people. We need a kind of a acceptable or like a good community base, a good base, and then support as well. This is important. We making these meetups. Sometimes it's kind of hard as well. Doing things out of pocket, it can be complicated. Um, but but support is sponsors and support is something that we would definitely be needing, and we've started conversation with some partners, and I hope it goes well. Like mentioned, certification for Laravel already helping us with some giveaway prizes and things like that. And we just want to get the word out. Maybe more people can help us and support us.
Super, super, very, very good session. Excellent podcast, Percy. I want to take this opportunity to encourage you the maximum and hope we stay in touch. If we can, that news help you. Laravel Moris, let's do it. So thank you very much. Thanks everyone. See you later.
Thank you. It's been a privilege to share and to speak to you today. It's been really great, and thank you for the amazing work that you're doing as well. It's really been great seeing your videos and stuff that you're doing as well. yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch and work together. If we have to work together on something, I'll be really happy to collaborate with you.
Thank you very much, Percy. Much appreciated.